Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. From today's video, we're going to talk about wisdom, how to understand it, and what helps all of us to develop this wisdom. Now, what is the common idea about wisdom in the world? There's this common misunderstanding about wisdom, that is, they say that people who know more and they're wise, right? To be wise, you have to know more. In one sense, it is correct, but it is not always correct, right? The people who know more are not always wise, right? And also, even though you learn more and more, it doesn't mean you become a wise person, right? There's a nice saying about wisdom that says, intelligence or knowledge is to understand that tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is to not to put it in a fruit salad, right? So understand that yes, knowledge is a power, right? Knowledge is a superpower that gives all of us a good experience about this world and good understanding about this world. But if we did not develop the wisdom, right? If we did not understand what wisdom is, then we may not be able to be wise, right? So what is wisdom? Wisdom can be understood as this. Wisdom is the ability to understand what is good and what is bad. Wisdom is the ability to understand what brings happiness to yourself and to the others, and to implement those things that you can do, right? And also, the Buddha explains about the wisdom as follows. The Buddha says, and what is the power of wisdom? Here, a noble disciple is wise. He possesses the wisdom that discerns arising and passing away, which is noble and penetrative and leads to the complete destruction of suffering. This is called the power of wisdom. Now, according to the Buddha, the wisdom is to understand the reality of life. That means the impermanence of life, right? The Buddha says that the inherent nature of life is that it is subjected to arising and passing away. And arising and passing away. This is the common phenomena of impermanence, right? So if someone can understand and if someone can realize this true nature, and that person is wise. That is the Buddha's explanation about wisdom. Because Buddha always focuses on understanding the reality of life. Okay? So Buddha explains what are the things that helps all of us to develop this wisdom, how to be a wiser person. These are the things that Buddha taught us to be a wiser person. You should implement these. You have to associate these things to be wise. So the Buddha explains these 4 things that helps us to develop wisdom. The first thing is, the Buddha says, association with superior persons will help you to develop the wisdom. That means the people who we associate is really crucial. It's really important when it comes to development of the wisdom, right? There's a wonderful saying that says, who you are is the average of 5 people who you closely associate, right? Take a look at the people who you closely associate, right? Our 5 people. So who you are is the average of those 5 people. So association is really, really important when it comes to development in life, development in spiritual life and also material life, both, right? So that is why you need to hang out with people, to stay with people who can inspire you, who can motivate you, who can guide you to a correct path, right? So that is why the Buddha says, associate with a person who is superior to you in wisdom, right? In spiritual practice, if you're following the spiritual practice, you have to associate with someone who is superior to you, right? So the Buddha says, always try to be with someone who has higher qualities than you, or someone who has equal qualities to you. But never be with people, never associate with people who has lower qualities than you, right? So that is why the Buddha said, to develop the wisdom, you need to have a good companionship. You need to have a good association with people, right? And the second thing that Buddha explains that helps all of us to develop wisdom is hearing the good Dhamma, right? Hearing about the reality of life, listening to the reality of life. When it comes to a spiritual practice, when it comes to Buddhism, the Buddha says that you need to listen to the Buddha's teachings. You need to learn the Buddha's teachings and wisely reflect on it, right? When you do that, the wisdom develops, right? The Buddha says proper attention. Next thing is the proper attention. You have to listen to the Dhamma, and also you have to have a proper attention when listening and also while practicing. So as the final thing, the Buddha explains, practice in accordance with the Dhamma will help you to develop the wisdom, right? That means when it comes to Buddhist practice, you need to follow the Buddha's path, follow the guidance of the Buddha and practice it. And then you can develop the wisdom in Buddhist practice. So these are the 4 things that helps all of us to develop the wisdom. The first thing is association with superior people, proper people, and good people. Second thing is hearing the good Dhamma, listening to the Buddha's teachings, and proper attention to the Buddha's teachings. And then finally, practice in according to the Buddha's teachings. These are the 4 things that will help us to develop the wisdom in Buddhist path. So I hope you got some idea about wisdom today. So I wish may all of you be happy, healthy, and may all of you be able to be wise in this very life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. The other day when I was doing a speech, there came a question from the audience. The question said, no matter how much I planned the new year, I failed to achieve these goals at the end. What is the reason? And turns out this is a problem for many people, right? We all plan the new year, we all plan in the beginning, but we fail at the end. What is the problem? The reason for this problem is we are trying to do more. But in reality, what makes your dreams come true, what helps you to achieve the goals in your life is not by doing more. It is by doing less. But it is a little bit contradictory to the society, the idea of the society, no? Because the society will say to you that do more and then you will achieve more. But in reality, to achieve more, you should not do more. You have to do less. Now, what do I mean by doing less? Doing less means doing something that is important. Removing all the unnecessary, unimportant things in your life and doing what is important. Giving the priority to what is important, what matters the most, right? And also, if you give this priority to what is important to you, right? If you ask the question, what is important to me in my life? What should I build up? What qualities should I build up in my life to make my life a success? And now you focus on that quality, the important task, important goal, and you keep doing it, right? The reason why we fail to achieve the important things in life, because our important goals, our main goals, our crucial goals are covered with these unimportant things, unimportant achievements in life, which does not help us in the long run, okay? And also there's another problem, and that is we have lots of expectations. That means too much expectations. It is okay to have expectations, right? It is okay to have dreams, it is okay to have goals, but it is not okay to have too much expectations. Why? Because sometimes when we have too much expectations, our expectations and our reality have a big gap. It has a big gap, right? So when we fail to achieve these expectations, what happens to our mind is we become discouraged because we are not getting what we expected. And then what happens? We suffer. We hate ourselves. We blame ourselves. The more we blame, the more we hate ourselves, the less we try to achieve things because we label ourselves, okay, I can't do these things. I'm not someone who is courageous. I'm not someone who is brave to do these things, right? No matter how much I try, I fail. That is the nature of mine. The more you label that, the more you give that name to yourself. I am a failure. I can't do these things. What happens? The more you can't do those things, right? So the most important thing is to have moderate expectations. It is not to have, I'm not saying that you should not have expectations. Yes, you should have, right? And also, you should not have too much expectations, right? You have to find that sweet spot. You have to have that moderate expectations. I will do my best. This is one advice that was given to me when I started preaching and giving speeches. One of my elder monks, one of my brother elder monks, he said to me, when you step into the stage, don't think that you're going to ace the speech and you're going to earn a standing ovation from the audience. Don't think that. Don't think about it. And also, don't walk into the stage without lack of confidence, right? You have to have a confidence that is moderate, right? You have to have a confidence that is moderate where you think yourself, I will do my best, right? I come to this stage, I step into this stage to share something valuable from the Buddha's teachings, and I will do my best to share it. It is when you have that moderate expectations, what happens? Although you fail at some points, right? You know that you will fail. You have accepted that yes, you are imperfect, you will fail in life, right? And that failure, the pain from that failure is less painful than when we have the high expectations. So the most important thing is to have moderate expectations. And one of the most important qualities that we need to have in our mind to achieve the goals and the dreams in our life is to focus on little changes in life, not the big changes. Most of the time people ask, like, how can I change my life in a bigger way? How can I make big changes in my life? To make big changes in your life, start from making little changes. That is what helps you that is what makes you the bigger changes in life, right? For an example, like, let's say you're in a stressful condition, right? You're stressed and you're worried about things, and you feel like you're going through like a dark hole. What can you do? You try to solve the problem, right? You try to solve the bigger problem. But the reason for that bigger problem is not always the immediate reason. The reason for a big problem is not always the immediate reason. It is a series of problems, series of changes that had happened throughout our life, and it make that big change, big problem. So what do you have to do? Go into the roots of the problem. What made it change? What went wrong? And when you find that smallest mistake that made it wrong, you have to correct that. You have to make that correct and work upward, right? Let's say you feel a little bit stressed or anxious, or you feel the negative energy around you. What can you do to stop this? First, stand up, and then you can clean your surrounding, right? By cleaning the surrounding, it adds some sort of a positive energy around you. And after that, you can meditate a little bit. Clean yourself, clean your body a little bit, clean your clothes, right? Clean your surroundings. That positive energy will make a little bit of positive change in your life. And that positive change will lead you to make big changes, big positive changes in life, right? So one of the most important things is to focus on little changes, right? That is why in Dhammapada, the Buddha says, by degrees, little by little, from moment to moment, a wise man removes his own impurities, as a smith removes dross of silver or gold. Now, when a silversmith or a goldsmith, when he cleans the silver or like a block of silver or gold, he or she can't do it easily, right? It takes a big time, right? It takes a huge time to clean this block of gold, right? In the same way, little by little, you have to improve little by little, right? So that is why I found this wonderful quote that I read recently. It says, learn a little bit, apply a little bit, improve a little bit every single day. Isn't that wonderful? Learn a little bit, apply a little bit, improve a little bit every single day. That is what we have to do. So I invite all of you to learn a little bit and apply a little bit and improve a little bit and change a little bit in this new year. So I wish you all, may all of you be happy and healthy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. If there is one simple word that we all struggle to say, and that is no. N-O, no. Two simple letters, one simple word, but saying no can be the most hardest thing in life to do. Why we struggle to say no? The reason why we struggle to say no is because we have gotten used to say yes to many unimportant things in life. Okay? When we say yes to unimportant things in life, what happens to us? We miss the chance and we miss the time to say yes to the important things in life and to the things that really matters to us. Okay? And that is why we need to learn how to say no to unimportant things and how to say yes and how to be more focused on saying yes to the important things in life. Okay? So the reason why I'm doing this video is because a couple of days ago, I came across this word. When I was chanting, I came across this word in Karaniyametta Sutta. The Buddha says, appakicho, do less. If you practice the Buddha's teachings, if you practice the spiritual path, or in any area of your life, you have to do less. Do not do more. Now, the society says the quite opposite thing to us. The society says that do more. The more you do, the more you achieve. Do many things as much as you can, then you will achieve. But turns out doing more will not help us to be more productive. Okay? To be more productive in what we are doing. To be more productive what really matters to in life. So that is why we have to master to say no to certain things in life and really be focused on what really matters to us. So from this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips that will help you to say no to unimportant things in life and to say yes and to be more focused on what really matters to you. Before learning how to say no to unimportant things in life, we have to understand why we say yes to unimportant things in life. The reason why we say yes to unimportant things is because of fear most of the time. Sometimes it is because of the fear of missing out. Sometimes it is the fear of letting someone down. Sometimes it is the fear of the only one to say no. Okay? Sometimes it is the fear of making the wrong decision. So that is why we say yes to unimportant things in life. And sometimes we say yes not only to the people, but also for the things in life. Okay? For an example, let's say you're studying. While you're studying, you have the mobile phone beside you. Okay? All of a sudden, you see a notification pops up on your phone. Now, you know that you're studying and you know that you have to be really focused on that. Okay? But you pick up the phone and you check what it is. Sometimes it is not necessary for you, but you check it and you say yes to that distraction. Let's say sometimes you plan to learn or to meditate in an evening. All of a sudden, you get a call from your friend and say that they ask for you to come with them to go shopping, maybe go to a party or to go to a walk. Because of fear of putting that person down or letting that someone down or to say no, we say yes to them. Okay, so when you say yes to them, sometimes we miss the chance and we miss that valuable time to be focused, to be more focused on what really matters to us. Okay, what really helps us to achieve our larger purpose in life. And that is why we have to learn how to say no correctly. So here are the few steps that you can help you to achieve that. The first step to saying no to unimportant things in life is to build a good self-awareness. Okay? You have to have a good understanding what really matters to you and why you say yes to certain things and why you say no to certain things. When you're aware of that, then you can easily say yes to important things in life and no to unimportant things in life. So, before saying yes to something, just ask from yourself this question: why? Why am I saying yes to this? Okay, before saying yes to something or to a person, just figure out why you say yes to that person or why you say yes to that thing. Okay, before you say no to certain things, you have to figure out why you are saying no to certain things in life. For an example, let's say you need to check your mobile phone. Okay, your mind says to check your mobile phone. Before doing that, you have to ask from yourself, why? Why am I doing this? Why should I do this? When you ask from yourself that question, you become more aware of yourself. You become more aware of what you're doing. The Buddha says, before you do something or before you say something, just ask from yourself that is it helpful for me? Is this thing that I'm going to do is helpful for me or helpful for others? Is it good for me? Is it good for others? When you ask from yourself that question, and if you come to the answer that, yes, this is really worthy of saying yes, this is really worthy of saying, this is really important to me, then do it. But if you come across the answer that, no, this doesn't really matters to me, okay, it is not important to my life, then by all means, do not do it because it steals your time, the valuable time in your life. So the first step of saying no, learning how to say no to unimportant things in life is to build a good self-awareness. The second step of learning to say no to unimportant things in life is to build a good self-discipline. And now this is the most hardest part because it takes a lot of courage and grit to say no. And you need to be more disciplined to say no to unimportant things in life. Because sometimes the things that we say no, we have to say no to unimportant things in life, may be the most enjoyable things in life. Okay, let's say like we all like to enjoy in life, but sometimes those things that makes us enjoyable will not help us to be more productive. Okay, for an example, let's say you are going to study and you're planning to study, you're planning to meditate, but well, sometimes your friends ask you to come and join to a party. Okay, now you like to go to a party, but you know that the most important thing in your life is the learning process. That is what helps you to achieve more success. The most important thing in life is to build a good spiritual, a strong spiritual base in your life. So then it is very difficult to say no to those things because we fancy of in doing all those things. Okay, so that is where we need the self-discipline to be disciplined and to say no. This is what really matters to me and I have to do it. Then you have to say no to those people politely. You can explain why you are saying no. Okay, I heard this one quote saying that learn to say no to people without explaining yourself. I would say learn to say no to people and explain why you're saying no to them. Then they can understand why you're saying no. Okay? So then they will respect your time and your values in your life. So that is why we have to learn to say no politely and correctly. The third step is to understand that your time is valuable. Time is the most valuable asset that we have in our hand. Okay? And our time on this earth is really limited. You don't have an infinite time on this earth. We have a finite time, and we have to use that limited time very well. So I would suggest look at your time like you look at your money. Okay? So when you get money, you don't spend that money lavishly or to whichever the thing that you want. You don't put that money wherever you are. No, we become more serious and you become more serious about your money. Same like that. Think about your time as you think about your money. Okay? Because money can be earned again, but the time cannot be earned again. You cannot take back the time. It is limited. And that is why in this limited time, you have to do the best thing that you can do. Okay? Be more serious when it comes to time. Don't waste it. Okay? It is the most valuable asset that we have. If you value time, if you respect your time, then you can say no to unimportant things and then you can learn to say yes to what really matters in your life. Okay? So respect your time and also respect other people's time as well. And the next step is to ask this magic question. The magic question is it really necessary? Before you say something, before you do something, before you say yes to someone or something, ask, is it really necessary? Do I really have to do it? Okay? Sometimes because we say yes to unimportant things in life is because we don't know that we don't really need it. For an example, let's say you came back home after a tired day, okay? And you say yes to social media. And you scroll through and it steals maybe 1 or 2 hours of your valuable time. In that time, there is someone that is valuable that you can do. Maybe to talk with your kids, maybe talk with your parents, maybe talk with your children. Then you can be more engaging with them and do something valuable with them. Instead of hanging out in social media and wasting that valuable time, just we can do something valuable. Before doing that, we have to ask, is it really necessary? Do I really have to do it? Then you can decide what to say no and what to say yes. Okay? So keep that in your mind. And the final step is to figure out what is really important to you. What really matters to you. Now, the most of the time, the reason why we say yes to unimportant things in life is because we haven't figured out what really matters in life. Okay, what really matters to us. So that is why if you have a good understanding what is the larger purpose of your life, what really matters to you, what is really valuable in your life, you can be more focused on that and say no to other things in life that really never helps you to achieve the larger purpose in your life. So I would suggest take a quiet time in your day to figure out what really matters to me today. What should I do? And what is the most important thing that I should do today to achieve the larger purpose of my life? In that way, you will have a good understanding what really matters in your life and the things that don't really matters in your life. And be more focused in doing those things. Sometimes it is more enjoyable doing unimportant things in life. But although it is enjoyable, although it is hard to say no to all those distractions, we have to say no to them because those are the things that prevents us engaging and achieving the larger purpose in our life. So finally, these are the tips that you can practice to say no to unimportant things and to say no to distractions in your life and to be more focused on what really matters. So finally, saying no can be really hard. I know it is really hard, but in order to achieve a happy life and a calmer life and a more disciplined life, we have to say no, and we have to learn to say no to unimportant things in life. So practice these little tips and then you'll be happy in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Once, a student monk went to his master and said, "Master, I can't live in this temple anymore. I want to leave this place and go to a peaceful and quiet monastery." Then the master monk asked, "Why? What's wrong with this temple? Tell me what happened." Then the student monk said, "See, everyone in this temple are toxic to me. There are some monks who are too much into politics in this temple. And there are some other monks who always talks negative stuff about me and about others. And there are some others who spend their whole day doing nothing but just gossiping. I don't think that I can practice my spiritual life in this temple. Please let me go to a peaceful and a quiet monastery where there is no toxic people around me." Then the master monk said, "Okay, I will let you go, but before going, you have to do me a favor for the one last time." Then the student monk said, "Tell me, master, what should I do for you?" Then the master monk took a spoonful of water and gave it to the student monk and said, "You must carry this spoonful of water around the monastery and you should bring it to me. But here's the trick. You must never spill a single drop of water from it. If you can do it, I will let you go to a peaceful monastery." So thinking that the master will let him go to a peaceful monastery by completing this weird request, the student monk took the spoonful of water and carried it around the monastery, fully focused and without spilling a single drop from it. So after a few hours, the student monk came back to the master with a happy face and said, "Master, I did it. I carried this spoonful of water all around the monastery, even without spilling a drop from it. So now, let me go to a peaceful monastery." Then the master monk said, "Okay, my student, you are free to go. But before you go, just tell me one thing. While you were carrying the spoonful of water around the monastery, did you hear any of the monks talking about politics? Did you hear any of the monks gossiping about other people? Did you hear any of the monks talking negative stuff about you?" Then the student monk said, "Master, I was focused on the spoon and I didn't have any time to listen to all those noises." Then the master monk said, "See, my student, if you are fully focused on your goal and if you're fully focused on your purpose, you don't have time to listen to all those other negative noises around you. Remember, wherever you go in this world, you will meet negative people around you. But if you're fully focused on your goal and on your larger purpose, all the other negative people and all the other negative words that you hear are nothing but just noises." Ladies and gentlemen, it is all about what we focus in our life. The more we focus on other people's behaviors, other people's words, other people's lives, there will be many toxic people around us. But if we are focused on ourselves, our goals, our purpose, all those negative stuff will become nothing but just a noise. See, it is easy to criticize other people. It is easy to see the dark side and the negative side of people. But it takes a heart of bravery and kindness to see the bright side of people. We all have imperfections in our life. We all make mistakes. We all make bad choices. And all those faults, imperfections are the things that makes us who we are. So when you work with people or when you're on social media, you will come across with people that you don't like. You will come across with ideas that you don't agree with. Remember, in all those times, You have the power to choose whether to react with negativity or to respond to them with positivity. Ladies and gentlemen, it is all about what you choose to do and what you focus in your life. So, focus on yourself and choose to respond to them with positivity. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. In almost every religion, faith plays a greater role. But is it the same in Buddhism? So from this video, I want to show you the role of faith in Buddhism. Let's find out. So the Google definition of the word faith is shown like this. Faith, strong belief in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual conviction rather than proof. Now, one might think, oh, Buddhism is not a religion, it is a philosophy. So there is no faith involved in it. But the truth is, yes, there is a role of faith in Buddhism. And in fact, it is one of the most important virtues that a practitioner must possess while practicing Buddhism. But the faith in Buddhism is fundamentally different from the official definition of this word. Now, the word that is given for the faith in Buddhism is called saddha in Pali language or shraddha in Sanskrit language. Now, take a look at how Buddha defines shraddha. The Buddha says, and what bhikkhus is the power of faith, or saddha. Here, a noble disciple is endowed with faith. He places faith in the enlightenment of the Tathagata. Now, note that Tathagata is a word that was used to call the Buddha. The Blessed One is an arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in true knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed, trainer of persons to be tamed, teacher of devas and humans, the enlightened one, the Blessed One. This is called the power of faith. Now, this is the definition of saddha or shraddha or confidence or faith in Buddhism. So it is about placing one's trust upon the enlightenment and the realization of the Buddha. And it is to say, yes, the Buddha developed his mind and found the path of liberation from suffering. But what Buddha teaches us that is that you should not get stuck in mere blind faith. What Buddha teaches us that your faith must go beyond the blind faith and should be an experiential faith. The blind faith is in Buddhism is called amolika shraddha. Amolika, the word amolika gives the meaning of rootless. There is no root. That means there is no root for your faith. You mere blindly believing in something. That is called amolika shraddha. And the faith that is praised by the Buddha is called akaravati shraddha. Akaravati shraddha is a confidence that is based upon practice and self-exploration and realization. Now, when it comes to faith, people believe in things in 5 ways. The Buddha teaches us that the people believe or people have saddha upon something in 5 ways. What are these 5 ways? The first one is called saddha. That means just mere believing. Sometimes people believe just because they are born into that idea, born into the families that hold that idea or that religion. So that is mere believing. That is called saddha. And the second one is called ruchi. Ruchi means people believe in things because they like it, right? Sometimes you like certain ideas, so you just believe it. Second one is called anusava. Anusava is that you believe in something just because someone said it so. And the fourth one is akar parivitaka. It means logical thinking. People believe in things because it is logical. They don't put it into practice, but as it is, just because it is logical, they believe in it. And also the fifth one is called ditti nijjhana kanti. People believe in things or ideas because those ideas correlate with their point of views, their personal views. So what Buddha teaches us that is that your faith, your confidence, your shraddha must go beyond these 5. That means You should put it into practice. You should experience it. You should explore it and have the confidence upon it. It is something like this. Let's say you and I are in the darkness, a darker place, right? But you and I are far away. Now, right in front of me, there is, let's assume there is a statue right in front of me, right? But I can't see it, you can't see it, because we are in the darkness. All of a sudden, a lightning occurs, right? A lightning occurs and the whole area lights up. And within this split second, I get the chance to see the statue. But after this split second, we are totally immersed in the darkness. But now you didn't see the statue, you were far away, but I saw the statue. Let's say you're coming near me, and I say to you that there is a statue in front of me, right? In front of us, there is a statue. It is like this, it is like that. Now, how I believe and how I hold the view about the statue is because I experienced it. I saw it, right? And how the other person believe in that idea is because the other person said it so, right? If you believe in that person, then you will believe it, right? So in the same way, the Buddhist faith must be an experiential, a practical experience that you experience through practice, putting it into practice. And that is how the Buddha defines Shraddha. So we need to understand that faith in Buddhism should be developed through practice and understanding and realization. Just take a look at this verse from the Buddha. The Buddha says to the Kasi Bharadwaja, the Buddha says, faith is the seed, austerity is the rain, wisdom is my yoke and plow, moral shame is the pole, mind the yoke strap, mindfulness my plowshare and God. Now Buddha similarized this faith to a seed. It's like planting a seed on a ground. Now the faith is the seed, but what makes the ground a better ground for the seed to be planted is the austerity, the practice that we do, the wisdom, the moral shame, mind, and mindfulness. All of these are the virtues, the qualities that make the ground for a better confidence, better faith. So faith must be put into practice. Faith should be developed through practice, right? So understand that Buddhist idea about faith is more of an experiential faith, right? And it is more of a practical faith, that you are allowed to ask questions, right? You are allowed to remove your doubts. You are allowed to explore. And also, you should believe in something by putting those ideas into practice and realizing it. Not just because that someone said it so, or not just because that you like that idea. So what Buddha teaches us, that if someone gives you an idea, that you need to thoroughly put it into wise reflection and meditate on it, find it, explore it, and understand. And then only you should believe in it. So, therefore, understand that faith in Buddhism goes beyond mere believing to the experiential confidence. So, I hope you got some light on the topic of faith in Buddhism. So, I invite all of you to practice this path, learn the Buddha's teachings, practice mindfulness, and most importantly, let your heart guide you to the truths deeply resonates. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the concept of karma according to Buddha's teachings. Now, when you hear the word karma, the first question that comes to your mind is, what is karma? What is the meaning of this word? Well, if you take a look at the definition of karma, it gives the meaning of action, right? But in Buddhism, it is more than action. The Buddha said it is intentional action is the karma. In Nibbedika Sutta, Buddha explains this as Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami chetayitva kammang karoti kayena vachaya manasa. Monks, I say that intention is the action, or intention is the karma. And intentionally or willingly, one performs actions or karma either physically, mentally, or verbally. That means that intention, chetana, or the intention, plays a greater role behind our karma. Now, according to the intentions, the karma can be divided into two types. Buddha said there are kusala karma and akusala karma, wholesome actions and unwholesome actions, right? Now, what is wholesome action? They are the actions, they are the things that we do with wholesome intentions, right? Like we do certain things with wholesome intentions like love and kindness, compassion, patience, serenity, right? When we do certain things from our body, speech, and our mind with wholesome actions, wholesome intentions, we generate karmas that are wholesome. And also there's the other side of the karma, that is unwholesome actions. Okay? Now, akusala karma or unwholesome actions is a broader topic, because so many people think that akusala karma is something that is bad when it comes to unwholesome actions, right? Akusala karma is not only bad, but also there's another hidden meaning behind this. And that is, there are certain things, there are certain actions that we perform during our day-to-day life, right? They're the things that we do in day-to-day life, like talking and writing and like sleeping and traveling. We need actions and we need intentions to do this. Intentionally, we do all the actions, but they're not certainly unwholesome. So the meaning of akusala karma means the actions that do not fall under the wholesome actions or kusala karma. Of course, there is the unwholesome actions or the bad karma or the evil karmas that we do, and also there is other neutral karmas that we perform during our day-to-day life. So they are called the unwholesome actions, right? So based on the intention, the karma can be divided into two different parts, and they are wholesome actions and unwholesome actions, kusala karma and akusala karma. Okay? And the word karma does not come alone. It comes with this word vipaka or phala, right? Vipaka, the word vipaka gives the meaning of result or outcome. And the word phala gives the meaning of the fruit. Okay? Now, the word phala is a great word to understand about the law of karma. Let's understand about it in this way. Let's say I planted a mango seed on the ground. In few years' time, what do I get? I can have mangoes, right? And also, if I planted a chili seed, in few months' time, what can I get? I can get chili, right? So when we plant something, a seed, it has the potential to give the result in the future, right? If I planted a mango seed, that mango seed has the potential, it has the ability to generate mango fruits in the future. Okay, same like that. If I did a certain karma in this moment, right? If with an intention, if I perform an action in this moment, it has the potential to create a series of experiences in the future, whether it is good or bad, right? So remember, the vipaka is the effect that we are going to get in the future, right? Now, this whole idea behind this law of karma is the law of cause and effect. When we make the conditions for something, then we are going to get the results out of it in the future. Now, the nature of the results highly dependent on the nature of the karma that we perform today. Let's understand about this in this way. Now, I planted the mango seed, right? That mango seed had the power to generate mangoes in the future, right? But if I wish this mango seed to give chilies in the future, no matter how hard I wish, I will never get chili out of it. I get mangoes because it has the nature of generating mangoes. Same like that, right? If I did an action with an intention, it has the power to generate the experiences or the vipakas in the future. So if the nature of this karma that I'm performing today has the intention of wholesome, or if I did with a pure mind, a pure intention, it can generate desirable experiences in the future, desirable results in the future, because that is the nature of this seed of karma. In the same way, if I did something unwholesome with an unwholesome intention, I will get unwholesome or undesirable experiences in the future, because it has the nature of generating undesirable experiences in the future. So this is the whole idea behind the law of karma. Now, why do we need to understand about the law of karma and how karma works? Now, if you had a good understanding about the law of karma and how karma works, it is very easy to be compassionate on others, and it is very easy to be compassionate on yourself. Right? There are certain things and certain experiences that happens due to our past karmas, right? Now, according to Buddhism, we believe that we are coming from a long journey of rebirth that is called samsara. Now, in this long samsara, we have performed both good and bad karmas. So in this life, we are going to get some sort of experiences from our past karmas, okay? So if you take a look at that, when the tough times comes, when the problems comes to your mind, sometimes people blame to themselves. People hate themselves and think like, I'm a bad person, right? I'm a bad person. I'm a negative person. No, right? Just because you performed a bad karma doesn't say that you're a bad person, okay? Because each and everyone, we are living in this society, in this world, perform good and bad karma, okay? So we don't want to hate ourselves. We can be compassionate on ourselves, right? Everyone is subjected to this law of karma. And also, if you have a good understanding about the law of karma, it is very easy to be mindful and be in this present moment. Why? Because sometimes we worry about the things that has happened in the past, right? We worry about the things that we have done in the past, and we think like, oh, I did this thing and my whole life is ruined, right? Of course, you cannot change the past, right? That is the truth. You cannot change the past. And also, you cannot stop the outcomes of the things that you have done in the past, or the results or the vipakas that you have done in the past. Okay, you cannot change it. What is within your control and what you can change is this present moment. And if you become mindful about this present moment, then you can create good karma, not the bad ones. So I hope you got a little understanding about the karma and how it works. So until next video, stay happy and stay safe. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, let's talk about how to control our negative emotions and how to control our mind. Well, the nature of our mind is it always likes to wander in negative emotions and negative thoughts. Negative thoughts like anger, desire, or lust, or then jealousy, maybe resentment. These are the negative thoughts that our mind likes to wander in. So how can we control it? Well, our great teacher Supreme Buddha introduced us a gradual training where you can practice this controlling of negative emotions or negative thoughts in your mind. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce them to you. So first and foremost, before getting into these steps, there is one thing that you have to practice, and there is one thing that you have to master, and that is awareness. If you are not aware of what you're thinking, if you are not mindful about what you're thinking, then you cannot control it. So you have to totally understand and you have to totally be aware of what you're thinking. Okay? So whenever you become aware of what you're thinking, then you will have that power to control it. So here comes the first step. Buddha says, whenever you become aware of your mind is wandering in negative thoughts like anger or lustful thoughts or resentment or jealousy, the first thing is to shift your thought pattern to something wholesome. There are some wholesome thoughts in your mind which makes you peaceful. Maybe like thinking of something that you have done in the past, like maybe you helped someone. Whenever you think that thought, your mind becomes happy and peaceful. So what you're going to do is, whenever you become aware of your negative thoughts, we're going to shift our thought pattern to something that is wholesome, something that makes us peaceful. So that is the first thing that Buddha says. Shift your thoughts to wholesome thoughts. If that first step did not work out, then what you have to do, go for the next step. What is that? Buddha says, think about the disadvantages of thinking negative emotions, right? If you are constantly having angry thoughts, then you have to think, these thoughts are hurting myself and others. If I take actions according to these thoughts, it will hurt myself and the others. Remember, it may be a little thought of anger, but if it grow up, what will happen? It will be destructive. So what do you have to do? Think about the drawbacks or disadvantages of thinking these negative thoughts. Then, whenever you see these disadvantages, your mind will tend to stay away from these negative thoughts. Most of the time, we are not aware of these disadvantages. Okay? So what do you have to do? Think, if I keep on thinking these negative thoughts, it is not going to help me. It will disrupt my peacefulness. Right? That is the second step. Then as the third step, Buddha says, pay no mind, pay no attention. If the second step did not work out, go for the third step, to not to pay any attention to that thought, right? See, whenever we give so much attention to something, maybe a thought, it grows again and again, it grows more, right? For an example, if you became angry with someone and if you keep thinking about him again and again and becoming angry, that anger will grow more and more. So what do you have to do? We have to let the thought be a thought without paying much attention, right? When you just stay away from giving attention, then it will fade away from your mind. It's something like this. Have you seen little babies, when they fall down, they start to cry, right? If the parent or the mother or father see that it is not a big deal of falling, if mother or father did not give any attention to that baby, what does he do? He just don't care about that. He will stop crying. Same thing goes with our mind. If we did not pay any attention to that thought, right? If we did not care about that thought and just let it go and let it pass away from our mind, then it will fade away. That is one way of doing that. If the third step did not work for you, then the Buddha says, go for the fourth step, to relax your thought process, right? Now remember, when you think negative thoughts, your mind becomes so much busy, so much rough and distracted. So what you're going to do is, you're thinking, why am I thinking these distractive thoughts, these negative thoughts that are making me so much busy and making me distracted, right? So what you're going to do is, you're relaxing your thought process to something very soft and subtle. Maybe like loving kindness, maybe like compassion, right? Maybe like gratefulness. When you think those thoughts, when you think more positive thoughts, your mind or your thought process becomes so much relaxed. And then, if the fourth step did not work for you, then it comes the final step. This is something that we have to do with a great care. I do not recommend for everyone to do this. This should be done with a great experience and a good practice, right? And that is to crush your thought with awareness, right? You have to be totally aware of your thinking pattern and have a good determination to your mind that I'm not going to think these negative thoughts, right? But this should not be done by everyone, right? Some may be not good at this, right? If you keep on becoming aware and if you keep on forcing this mind, it will grow more and more these negative thoughts. So if all those 4 steps did not work for you, then you have to go for the final step, right? So it is much better to practice these 4 thoughts before doing the final one. Okay, so practice these things. When you practice, you will feel and you will understand that your negative emotions are fading away little by little. Remember, this is not going to happen overnight. It will take a long time to do this, but you have to keep on practicing. Keep on doing it. Make it a habit, and then you will become a master of it. So practice this practice and make your mind a place where free from negative thoughts. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. First of all, I need to ask a question from you. What matters the most in life? The little things that we do or the big things that we do? Or little changes that happens in our life or the big changes that happen in our life? What matters the most? The real answer for this question is the little things, the tiny little things that we do, maybe good or bad, that matters the most in our life, right? It can change many things in our life in the long run. Let me give you an example. Okay, in our daily life, folding our laundry is a part of the daily life, okay? Imagine if we did not do it. Many people don't like to fold the laundry. What they do is they just take it and they just keep it in their room. They don't fold it. But what will happen if we did not do it? Okay, it keep piling up day by day. And at the end of the week, you will have to spend a big time to fold your laundry, keep your room tidy. And also, it will give you some extra stress when you enter the room. So what made that stress? What made that waste of time? Not doing those little things, right? But if we take a 5 minute for the day to fold our laundry and keep them nicely, it takes only a few minutes to do that. If we do that, what will happen? It will help us to keep our room tidy and to stay a little bit out of stress, okay? So that is why it is very important to focus on these little good things. The Buddha said, Mavamanyeta punyasa namantang agamisati. Do not neglect the little merits that you collect, thinking that, oh, this won't give me any consequences or any results, okay? Udabindu nipatena udakumbhopi purati. Even the drop by drop collected in a pot, one day that pot will overflow with water. Same as that, the little good things that we collect in our daily life, okay? You collect many good things in daily life, right? Maybe like giving some foods to a pet, maybe like giving some foods to a family member, maybe like being kind to a person. That's a little good thing. That's a tiny thing that we don't focus on. But when those things collect daily, one day our life will overflow with good deeds, good karma. Okay, so that is why it is very important to focus on little good things. Same as the bad things. Okay,
There are many bad habits, very little ones, tiny ones. We don't focus on them, right? Especially getting angry. We think, oh, getting angry and becoming angry is a normal thing, normal part of life. But if we keep on getting angry day by day, it will make a habit. Okay, we will be a more angry person. So that is why focus on those little good things and the little bad things, because they can make a big change in your long run. So focus on the little good things, do them correctly, do them nicely, and make your life a happy one. Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. In today's video, let's talk about how to stay focused during studies. Well, this is a question that most of the students ask from us. Bhante, how can we stay focused in studies? I am easily becoming distracted. My mind is wandering here and there. So how can I concentrate my mind to studies? Well, first of all, let me ask you a question. Do you become distracted when you listen to your favorite song? Are you easily distracted when you watch your favorite movie? Whenever you are doing something that you mostly like, that you have the passion with, do you become distracted? No, you don't. You're well concentrated into that. So, what is the first secret behind this focusing power? Passion. Whenever you like something, your mind is focused to that. So, the first step of building the focus to anything is to develop the passion or the desire to do that. So, that is why they say that do what you love or love what you do. So, maybe it is for the studies, maybe it is for meditation. If you have the passion, you will be well concentrated. If you do not have the passion, if you did not like what you're doing, then your mind is going to be distracted. So the first step is creating the passion towards it. So the second step of creating the focus is to be happy with little achievements, like little focusing times. Whenever you study, whenever you meditate, you may have little times of focus. You may be concentrated for 10 seconds, or maybe 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute. What you have to do is you have to be happy with that. The thing that is with us is we are expecting many big things in our life, but we are not happy with little things in our life. So what you have to do, whenever you are focused, maybe for 10 seconds, say, I am happy with that. Admire it, right? Without that, you cannot create the focus. So, admire your little achievements. That is the one thing that you have to do. And the next thing is, you have to reduce your distractions. Notice what you become distracted. Maybe social media, maybe your mobile phone, maybe something that you think of, right? So what you have to do, reduce those distractions. Stay away from those distractions, right? If you start to study, if your phone is distracting you, what do you have to do? Keep that away for a little while, right? Whenever you reduce or whenever you stay away from the distractions, your mind become well focused. That is another thing that we can do to create the focus in our mind. And also remember, focusing power is not an act. It is a practice. It is a habit. So what do we have to do? We have to practice this focusing power or this concentration again and again. How to do it? So whenever you are studying, if you notice that your mind is wandering here and there, maybe in several thoughts, right? But when you notice it, when you become aware of it, take back that distracted mind to your focusing point. Maybe to studies, maybe to meditation. Take it back. It may stay in the studies for a little while. Your mind may stay in the studies for a little while. then it will become distracted again. That is the nature of our mind. So what you have to do it again, you have to take it back and start to study. When it is distracted, take it back to the studies and keep on studying. When you do it over and over again, what happens is it creates this power of habit. Then you can create the focusing power in your studies. So these are the little things that we can practice to create more focus. And also, before studying, before you do anything that needs your focus, just meditate a little while. Maybe just close your eyes and focus on your breathing pattern, your in breath and out breath, right? When you focus your mind to that, your mind, we give that message, or we give that signal to our mind that now you should be concentrated, you should be focused. So when you practice these things, your mind will little by little get used to be focused. So practice these little practices and make your life a better one. Namo Buddhaya. If you are going through stress or anxiety or depression in your life, or if you have a tough time in your life, here is one thing that you have to remember. You are not all alone in this world. Don't think that you don't have help. Don't think that no one is caring about you. The truth is, there are people who can help you and who are willing to help you. All you got to do is just step a little outside and seek for the help from correct people and from the correct places. So when the life throws challenges towards us, when there is tough times in life, we tend to think that we are the only person who is going through depression, anxiety, or stress or problems. But the truth is, if you see the world, there are millions and millions of people who are struggling and who are suffering in this life, right? We all struggle in our lives to live in this world, right? So it is not your suffering. It is not only my suffering. It is our suffering. We all are suffering in this world. The Buddha said, where there is birth, there is suffering. That is the reality. But we don't want to think about this suffering as something negative, right? It is not the suffering that makes us negative. It is the perspective that we are holding on to suffering makes us negative, right? So today, I'm not here to talk about depression and how to quit the depression. Today, I'm going to share with you a simple Buddhist practice that can help you in healing these depressive thoughts or anxious thoughts or any kind of mental suffering that you're having. And this practice is called becoming mindful about your thoughts, right? Becoming mindful about your thoughts. In Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha explains this as Chittanupassana. So how can we practice becoming mindful about our thoughts? It is very simple, right? You can do this practice whenever you want or wherever you want. It is free. You totally have the freedom to do it, right? Here's how we can do this. And when we become mindful about our thoughts, what we are doing is we are not judging our thoughts, and also we are not trying to stop our thoughts, but we constantly become aware of what we are thinking, what comes to our mind. So all you got to do is you can sit down, or you can do this while walking, while traveling in the bus, or wherever you want. Just ask from yourself that what am I thinking? Then you will come across with these thoughts, right? So what we have to do is whenever you become depressed, whenever you feel anxious about yourself, whenever you feel sad about something, what you have to do is just notice it. Notice it as a thought. Because most of the time, we judge ourselves by thoughts.
We are thinking about ourselves as our thoughts. But remember, you are not your thoughts. When you become more mindful, it gives you this ability to separate yourself from your thoughts, right? So we don't want to judge ourselves by our thoughts. What we are doing is we become mindful. We become more aware of our thoughts without judging. It is very simple. It's like this. It's like you're watching a traffic pass by sitting beside the road. You can see cars are going, you can see bikes are going, vans, buses, cargo carriers. There are so many vehicles that are going. All you're doing is you're just watching them. You're just noticing them, right? But most of the time what happens is we become more afraid about these vehicles and we try to jump into the middle of the road and we are trying to stop these things, right? That is what you are doing. That is what we are doing when we become depressed or sad. When these sad and depressed thoughts haunt our mind, what we are doing is we are trying to fight it. We are trying to suppress them. We are trying to stop them. The more you try to stop these thoughts, it will come again and again. Remember that. So all you got to do is we are not going to fight them. We are not going to stop them. We are noticing them, right? You can do this. Just ask this simple question from you. What am I thinking? Then you will find that, oh, my thoughts are depressed. It is not me that is depressed. My thoughts are depressed, right? So what is the nature of a thought? It will come and it will stay for a while in your mind and it will fade away. That is the nature of the thought. So it is just a thought. That means you are not the depression, you are not the anxiety, and you are not the stress. Remember, if you feel hopeless, if you feel that you are not good enough, don't believe what your mind always says. You are more capable than you think. You are more good than you think, right? So what is holding back us is this little frame that we are having inside our mind that I am not good enough. I cannot do these things. I'm not capable of doing these things. I'm hopeless. No one is going to help me. If you change that mindset one day, remember, you can do better and you can do more than you think. So please don't think that you are not good enough. I repeat again that you are more capable of doing things more than you think, right? So believe in it and work for it. So if you are going through painful situations and if you are having painful memories about yourself, don't run away from them. Don't be afraid of them. Remember, pain is a part of growing, right? If you want to grow, sometimes you have to go through pain. Most of the time, you have to go through pain. So if you practice these mindful exercises, and if you seek for the help, and if you do this proper medication for your mental suffering, then one day for sure, you are going to be okay. You are going to be happy in your life. And this is the best part of recovering from these traumatic and painful situations. What is that? You can help someone who is in the same place as you were. You can say that do these things, practice these things, think like this, because I know the pain that you are going through, because I was a person like you. But I am recovered now. You also can recover yourself. So you can inspire others and you can help others. And then you will find the real value of your life. So please do not think that you are not good enough. You're more than enough than you think. So remember these things and practice these things in your life. And I wish you all, may all of you find the real happiness in your life. Namo Buddhaya.